Hey guys, MC Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the Super7 Ultimates Wave 1 Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Here we have the Yellow Ranger, which is both Trini and Aisha, which is pretty cool. So here, looking at the package, we have the Power Coin logo for the saber-toothed tiger there, looking pretty awesome. It says Yellow Ranger here. Again, all Super7 Ultimates figures come in these brown shipper boxes that say Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. This one says Yellow Ranger, of course. Big shout out and thank you to the fine folks over at Super7 for sending out this first wave for me to check out for you guys. So here we have the package and the slipcover. Look at the back, you just get the MMPR logo. We slowly pull up on that slip cover and we have the action figure there, which looks really cool because we get again the two heads of Trini and Aisha, which is insane, and crazy amount of accessories, like a lot of accessories. We get the 3 different blade blasters, so one where it's all folded up, we get it in the blaster mode, and then we get it in the blade mode. We have the daggers for her. We get the old school like throwback retro accessories there. We get the morpher. We get the little doll dude, and I don't remember what his name was, but I'm gonna look it up to figure it out. And we get some flowers, I think, goes along with that. I could be wrong. And then what the other cool thing is, we get the Power Coin like crystal thing, which is how they controlled the Zords to begin with, so that's a nice little touch. The figure looks awesome. The head sculpts look pretty good. Definitely better improvement over the Tommy Oliver ones, because I know everyone's been hating on them and absolute shitting on them. These ones definitely look a lot better, so we'll take a closer look at those. Looking at the back of the package there, we'll look at the bio. If you want to read that, go ahead and pause it there so you can read. I went over the Green Ranger one, took a lot of time. There was more light. Go ahead and pause that and go ahead and read it up. But let's go ahead and take these out of the package. Okay, so here are all the accessories, and there was, oh my god, it took me forever just to get everything out with all the tape and everything. So a crazy amount of stuff, so we'll go over it quickly. So here we have the retro toy-inspired Power Blaster. It has a hole in there because all of you guys on the Green Ranger video have told me it's because there was a peg on the hand, so on the old school toys, so it pegged in there, and that's how they held them. I got so many comments telling me about it, so I got it. Thanks, guys. So here we have one of those Power Blasters, and then we have the retro daggers are all in silver, and they're very like roundish and stuff. And they don't at all look like what they're supposed to look like because they were just kind of the generic toys. They're all in one color. But here we have the actual daggers, and these came out looking great. So a nice silver color and yellow in there. That looks pretty good. And we get, of course, 2 of them, as you can see here. So we have the 2 daggers. We have the power crystal here, and it's a little hard to make out the saber-tooth tiger. You can see the outline of it a little bit there. So that is kind of cool. So that's kind of the power coin where they use their power coin and then it comes out with the crystal, and this is how they control their Zord. So we get that, which is really nice touch. We have her morpher here, so you can see the yellow in there. Green Ranger had one, and of course it was the gold, but the regular Rangers have the silver, so that looks pretty awesome there. We have the Deandra flower. So this is a very particular episode, you know, the Shell Shock one, where they use the power of the flower to get them to stop moving fast and crazy. I don't remember the flower. I remember the Shell Shock. I think that was the turtle with the stoplights, the traffic lights on there, which is kind of crazy. So there's the flower. That looks pretty good. We get Tickle Sneezer, this little troll doll, which is always creepy as hell. Like, it's kind of scary looking, but it's painted really nice. I like the way it came out, sculpted nicely. But Tickle Sneezer was ugly as hell, and she was like, "Oh, this is my favorite doll because it belonged to my mom." It's just, you know, Saban and stuff having to figure out how to rewrite the Japanese stories and footage to make it the American stories, and it's just a really ugly doll. Like, I just can't stand the way it looks, but that is Tickle Sneezer there, and that's a nice touch that we get that. Here we have the 3 different blade blasters. So here is the folded version, and look at the details in the paint, which is pretty damn awesome. Like, it came out looking really nice with the white, the blue, the red, and the silver paint in there along with the black. Look at the silver teeth in the back there. This came out looking really nice. Now, here, if you look closely, that does say Power Rangers in there. I don't know if I can even get that clear enough. You could read, it says Power Rangers. It does not say the Zhu Ranger, I think is how you pronounce it. So we have that there. Here we have it in the blaster mode, and that looks really good. the teeth there. I used to love this toy. I hope Lightning Collection makes one of these. I'm waiting for a Saba because I have the Dragon Dagger. I want Saba and I want one of these. Like, how cool would it be to get these? Like, I'm not going to get all of the individual weapons because I think they're overpriced, but I would love to get a Power Blaster. I had the Bandai one when I was a kid. I would love to get one now. Legacy is just, you know, out of reach at this point. And then here we have with the blade out. That is pretty cool. I remember I used to fold it out with the old school toy. But that looks really good. We all get the same details, but then it's all in the different modes, which is really nice. And then going back to this one, so this is like the holstered mode, so you can actually just put it right in the holster there, and that works out quite nicely. Now, we have a set of gripping hands on the figure out of the package with the standard horizontal hinge on there. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 extra sets of hands, which is crazy. So we have another set of gripping hands, but this time we get the vertical hinge on there. We get these martial arts hands, as you can see there. We have the expressive hands, as you can see that here. We get an open hand, as you can see here. And then we also get a pair of fists. So that's 6 sets of hands total. So hands galore for this figure, which is pretty crazy. Oh, and then, of course, the 2 head sculpts. So we'll start with Aisha. This looks pretty good. I actually see the likeness to the actress. I forget her name. Karen Ashley? I don't know. I have to go back. And look, we get a yellow bow up there. And I think that came out looking pretty good. I definitely see the likeness in there. I think, if anything, maybe her cheeks are a little bit wide, but yeah, that came out looking good. And I really like the Trini head sculpt. I think that came out really, really nice. Looks like the actress, rest in peace, we lost her, I don't know, 20 plus years ago now at this point, which was sad. But the original Yellow Ranger. So when I think of the Yellow Ranger, I think of Trini. Unfortunately, I do not think of Aisha, although Aisha was great. She was in the movie and everything. But I always default to the original Yellow Ranger, which was Trini. And I think that came out pretty good. So now let's go ahead and take a look at the figure. Okay, so here's an up-close look at the Yellow Ranger figure. One thing about the helmet, I do think it should be a little bit more rounded as opposed to a little bit more oval, but I think otherwise it came out looking really good. We get the silver of the teeth for the saber-toothed tiger. They are a lot closer together than you would see like on the original Hasbro one. I don't remember the updated helmet, but I think this is definitely a little bit more accurate to what I've seen. The teeth go a little bit beyond the visor there. The diamonds and everything, the paint apps all look really good. The power coin looks a little flat, but you could really make out the saber-toothed tiger, as you can see there. Painted nicely. Black soles on the boots. And we have her. Got the power blaster folded in there. So let's go ahead and see how the Aisha and Trini heads look on this figure. Saber-tooth tiger! So here we have kind of the morphing sequence that I can do there. So that is actually pretty cool that we could do that because we have these super cool morphers. I'm actually really excited to have these things. That is awesome. But anyway, here is the Trini head sculpt on there, and that looks pretty good. The hair does kind of flow over her back like so. But that looks pretty good with Trini on there. Let's go ahead and take a look at Aisha. Okay, and here we have the Aisha head sculpt on there, and that actually looks pretty damn awesome. And I actually think, at first, when I first got this, I was thinking, oh, the Trini is definitely the better looking head sculpt. But the more and more I look at it, I think Aisha definitely came out looking a whole lot better. Again, we don't have a hyper realistic look at the head sculpt, but this one definitely came out looking the best out of the 2 Tommy Oliver and the Trini head sculpt. This Aisha one definitely is a big improvement over them, and I think it looks really good. You guys let me know down in the comments below, what do you think? So now let's go ahead and zoom out and take a look at the Yellow Ranger's articulation. Okay, so the Yellow Ranger's articulation, by the way, when moving the head sculpts, you want to go in a side-to-side motion and pull up on them. Don't just try and yank. It's never a good sign. So always like side to side and then start working your way up. But anyway, articulation wise, so the head is on a disc hinge, so you can get her to look down that much. You can get her to look up, and only that much, unfortunately. You don't get a whole lot of motion on that hinge. It does sit actually pretty far down on that neck. The shoulder, you can get those arms to go straight on out, full rotation up there. You get an upper bicep swivel, single jointed elbows, unfortunately, which gives you 90 degrees. There's also a little bit of a swivel at that elbow. Their wrists swivel and they do hinge. Majority have the horizontal hinge, but you do get the one set of gripping hands that do have the vertical hinge on there. We have a diaphragm cut so she can tilt to her left that much, which is actually really good range. She can tilt to her right that much, which is really good. She can go back on that diaphragm cut quite a bit. Coming forward, though, unfortunately, with most diaphragm cuts is not a whole lot on there. The waist ball joint and then the ab, you get her to come forward that much. Still not a whole lot, but a little bit more than it was before. But going back is like an insane amount, as you could see. There. You do have the waist swivel in there, of course, at the waist and at the diaphragm a little bit. So you want to be careful there. Cracked a little bit, but still holding in place. Legs go out that far apart, which is pretty good. She can kick forward. You can push it to the limit a little bit. She can kick forward that much. The leg goes back a little bit. The tiniest little bit of thigh turn in there. There is no thigh swivel. And unfortunately, single jointed knee, so you only get a 90-degree bend at the knee with Super 7. That is the articulation scheme that they go with on all the figures. Unfortunately, double joints would always, always, always be better, but we get single joints. You do get a swivel at the boot there. Foot hinges down quite a bit, hinges up a whole lot. Ankle pivot, peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So not super articulated by any means, but this Yellow Ranger definitely seems to get a lot more motion with the diaphragm cut versus the ab crunch of the Green Ranger. Okay, and so here is a comparison with the Super 7 and the Hasbro Lightning Collection. So Super 7 is a 7-inch scale figure, while Lightning Collection is a 6-inch scale. So you can see huge size difference between the two. One size comparison I didn't do with the Green Ranger, which now that I think about it at the time would be good. So here is a Bandai Legacy Collection figure, which was a 6.5-inch scale. As you can see, it's about the same size as the Green Ranger, a little bit taller than Yellow Ranger. And speaking of Green Ranger, here we have the Super 7 Ultimates Green Ranger figure. Boom, there. And let's go ahead and add in the Putty Patroller, the other figure from Wave 1. So here's Wave 1 so far. You guys let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of Wave 1 so far? Next video is going to be Goldar, and we'll be finishing out the round of videos with the Tyrannosaurus Dinosaur, which is insane. I'm super excited to open that one up. I got to mess with it and see it at Power Morphicon, but to actually have it now, I am very excited. It's going to be an awesome figure. You guys are going to absolutely love that one. It's definitely going to be the best of the wave. But you guys, again, let me know in the comments below, what do you think of these figures so far? Let's go ahead and take another final look at some of these accessories, because they're just crazy to look at. Okay, so here are the daggers within the hands, and they do fit in the gripping hands. They don't have the tightest grip, so they are a little bit loose, but they're not falling out or anything like that, so something to keep in mind. Okay, and the blade blasters fit nicely in the hand as well, and then here with the bladed out version, those fingers are a perfect fit inside the blade out blade blaster, the sword version or dagger knife version or whatever you would call it. Perfect fit. The old school retro inspired versions are definitely tighter fits in the hand, so they can actually work that out. This thing is sculpted actually really nicely for being just kind of the little retro inspired, just like kind of flat detail all in white plastic paint. It actually is sculpted pretty nicely. Okay, and that is the review of the Yellow Ranger figure. You guys let me know down in the comments below your thoughts on the figure. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. Hit that join button to become a channel member and be a part of the MCU Collective. And as always, guys, thank you for watching. Here, the Super 7 Ultimates Wave 1, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Yellow Ranger, Trini, and Aisha, Saber-Tooth Tiger.